Hi lovely people, welcome back to my tutorial for today. I sincerely appreciate you guys for all your support, and please, if you're yet to subscribe, kindly do so by clicking on that red icon to subscribe, and also touch the notification bell. Select all to be the first to be notified whenever I upload a new video. So in today's class we shall be looking at how to cut an off-shoulder top, but we're using a princess buster method for it. So after cutting a princess buster, we will now join it, then might knot our off shoulder. So today's tutorial will be looking at how to cut, how to pad, and how to join it on the sewing machine. So let's get started. Okay, we first of all fold our fabric into two, then we take our measurements. So the shoulder that I'm working with is 15 inches, and our measurement starts from the folded part. So we take our measurement, which is 15 inches, divide by 2 to give us 7.5. So we mark our 7.5. Then we mark our 3 inches for shoulder slope. Then we come down here by 4 inches. We come down here by 4 inches, then take 1 inches off for the shoulder slope. So we just connect the line from here. Then we connect the shoulder slope line from the 3 inches to the 1 inch. Hope you're seeing what I'm doing. So from our shoulder to our nipple measurement is 11 inches. Then we added half an inch, making it 11 and a half. And from shoulder to our under bust is 15 and a half inches. We added another half an inch, making it 16 inches. Then the length of our our half length is 17 inches. Then we added another 1 inch for joining, making it 18 inches. So after this, now we consider our nipple to nipple measurement. And nipple to nipple measurement I'm working with is 8 inches. Divide by 2 to give us 4 inches. So here now you determine what you use in joining. If you are using half an inch, you measure 4.5. But if you are using quarter an inch to join, you use 4.25. So I'm using quarter an inch, so I'll measure 4.25. So I'll also do the measurements. I'll also take the measurements here, 4.25. I'll just measure it till down to the half length. So after that, I will join the lines together. So from this 4 inch now, I'll just do a slight curve to meet my upper bust. Sorry, I didn't say how I got this upper bust. When I measured the shoulder, from my shoulder to nipple measurement, I got 11, then added half, making it 11 and a half. Then my shoulder to my under bust is 15 and a half plus half, making it 16 inches. Then after now, you consider these two. You check the difference between this and this, and what we have is 4 and a half. So you take that 4 and a half up to get your upper bust. So I'll just connect my line this way and I'll cut. So now I will just notch this 3 points, the under bust, the nipple, and this upper point. I'll just notch the 3. Okay, now I'll fold another fabric into 2 to cut our both sides. Then when I folded it, I'll then place the center part to it. In placing of this center part, what you have to consider first is here at this point, make sure that you have up to 2.5. But if the bust is up to 45, you make use of 3 inches at the back. But if it's not up to that, you make use of 2.5. So here I will make sure that I have up to 2.5 at the back of this point. Then I will now place the center part. So the next thing to do now is to sketch out this point. Sketch out this to your fabric this way. Then you mark out all those points that you notched. One, 2, and 3. You mark it out. So having done that, the next thing to do is to take our body measurement. So here we'll take our shoulder measurement. Sorry, we take our armhole measurement, not shoulder. And the armhole measurement we are working with here is 18 inches divided by 2 to give us 9 inches. So we mark our 9 inch here. So here we take our bust measurement, and our measurement starts from this point here. So here we take our bust measurement, and the bust we are working with is for 3 inches divided by 4 to give us 10.75. So we mark our 10.75. Then we add our 2 inches for seam allowance. So at the down part, we take our waist measurement, and the waist we are working with is 37 inches divided by 4 to give us 9.25. 9.25. Then here we'll mark our seam allowance. We take 2.5 inches for our seam allowance. So from here now we connect this way. Remember that this is where our armhole is. So from here now, make a slight curve to meet our armhole measurement. This way. So we now remove this one. Coming to the back side at the center point, which is the nipple point, we will take 2.5 inches there. We'll take the measurement from this way. this way now. We mark our 2.5 inches, which is here. So from this point now, we will connect it to that 2.5, and from that point again we connect it to the we connect it here. Before you remove this thing, you determine the line of this, where the line of the center one ends. You just mark it so that you will not have excess at the side part. So now I've connected this from this point to that 2.5, and from that 2.5 to the under bust. Then you go down this way. So now you cut. So after that we have this, and we have this at our center part. So these two now is what we are going to work on. So this and this is what you are going to work with. So now we cut our wooden for the padding. Okay, now I've carefully placed the center part at my wooden. But when doing this, you have to consider one thing. Remember that you are going to still take back this to an off-shoulder dress. So you have to consider it in padding so that you will not pad to up. Even on normal, if you are padding this for a princess bustier, you don't need to take it up. You end it somewhere here. Then coming to the down part, you leave like half an inch here. You leave like half an inch at the down part for any of your joining, either on dress or with a peplon, or you're adding a band to it. You just leave like half an inch here. So now I will just cut. And another thing to take note of is when you are cutting a wooden, do not use your main scissors, because it will make it not to be sharp again. So when you are cutting, you make use of an old scissors, or you buy a smaller one for your wooden, or any pepper gum stay. It's advisable that you use another scissors, not the same scissors you are using in cutting your fabric, so that it won't make it to not to be sharp again. So this is it. So I'll keep this one aside and bring the okay, this is it. The note, when you are padding, look at the padded very well. You will see if the one face is shining while the other one is not. So the place that is shining is the gumming part. So you place the back of your fabric to the shining part. So look at this one. I am not padding it full. just at the breast point, as the breast part. I'm just cutting only the small thing here. So I'll just cut this way. Never a must that you cut the padded to reach this point. So you can just decide to stop here, because at times you will see that after joining you will still need to deepen your armhole, hereby cutting out the woolen. So instead of you to spoil it or to use excess of it, you just stop somewhere here, then you connect and just cut it out this way. This way. So I can use this one to cut the other part, but what I have to do now is to face the shining part to the shining part of this one to cut it out, so that the both sides will be different. So I'll just place the shining part to the shining part of this, then I'll cut it out. So I will just part the two like this. I want to give you a little scope of what I discovered. You know, before when I started this my sewing newly, I was thinking that without gumming it with your iron first, you cannot join it. But later I discovered that no, that without light, my sewing can be going on actually. So instead of me in a case whereby I don't have light, there is no light on, I don't have an electric stove, electric iron to carry on, I can just use a pin to hold it at the center so that the gum and the clothes will be together. Then I will continue with my sewing. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, this is what I mean. I can just use my pin, then hold it this way. So this is what I mean. So I can just go ahead and join it with the other part. So now, for the sake of beginners, if you are not yet conversant with using your eye to mark out your half an inch or your quarter an inch, depending on what you put when you are measuring your nipple to nipple measurement, you can actually do it this way. You know, when you are joining, and after padding it, you make sure to trim out the excess of the wooding that comes out of the fabric, so that it will be equal to the fabric. So for the sake of beginners in joining this one comes to this part, and you join from down this way, then up to this point. So what you have to do is, and you know, when you are sewing it, you are sewing this way, so this side will be at the upper part. So what you have to do first is for you to take your measurements. If what you use is half an inch, you just take your half an inch measurement. You just be measuring half an inch. Hope you see what I'm doing. Just measure half, you keep it here again, you measure half, and when you are measuring it, you are joining it with the lines this way. You are shifting, you are measuring your half this way, you are measuring your half this way, measure your half. So this is what you do all through, and you turn to the other part too and do the same thing. Measure your half. So this is what I mean. Once we are seeing my chalk, so I measured half an inch all through to the end. So now what I just have to do is to go to my machine and sew on this line. So when I'm sewing, I'm adjusting it so that the two fabric will be together. You know, when you are sewing, this one will purge out here this way. So when you are sewing, you are adjusting it. I'll also take you to the machine so that we will join it together for you to understand it better. So after doing this part, you turn to the other part. This time around, this side will be at the back, while this one will be on top. So it will be something like this. So you have to take that your half an inch up here throughout. You have to take that half an inch here, so that when you are sewing on that line, and you will see that after doing the work, it will come out very perfect till it master you to use your eye to calculate half an inch, quarter an inch, or 1 inch. So let's go to the machine now and do the finishing part. Okay, one more thing before we move over to the machine. I've taught you how to use pin in case of there is no light, but since there is light, let's iron it together. You are ironing through the back, not here, but you're ironing direct to the fabric. I'll just iron this way. Make sure you place it well before you go. And make sure that the shining part is direct to the fabric. If not, it will come to the table. Okay, so you see, this is what I mean. So I'll just do the same thing at the both side. I want to say something before we continue the sewing. If you look at this my armhole, you will see that I didn't cover it that deep. It's because we are still going to minus then slant it for off shoulder. If not, I would have come in to deepen my armhole very well. Okay, now you make sure that the two fabrics are joined together. Then you sew. Then you raise up and adjust it. So this is what you'll continue doing till the end of your sewing. You raise it up again and adjust it. Okay, this is it. I'll just turn it. So I'll do the same thing at this other side. Okay, now as you can see how our princess bustier comes out like. So the next thing to do now is to fold it into two this way. You just fold it into two equal parts. So next is to take back your measurement. Okay, now we have to remove out what we want so that the dress will not turn to an off shoulder. So here I'll be my knotting 5 inches. I'll just take I'll just connect the line. This way. Please, I've said something before though. Let me repeat it again. When you are cutting this, I made a little mistake here. You don't have to deepen here. You just have to just do a little slant at the armhole measurement, because you know later when minus this, you now take your off shoulder measurements and slant it to the armhole side. So now that I've measured, taking the out what I want, I will just go ahead and cut it out. Okay, now the next thing to do is to take your armhole measurement, and remember that the armhole we used was 18 inches divided by 2 to give us 9 inches. And so you place the 9 inches, and remember that we have already minus 5, so we have something like this. So what we have left is 4 inches. So we just mark that our 4 inches this way. So from there now we slant it like this. So at this place now, you make a design of your the neckline of your choice, either v-neck, circle neck, or sweetheart, any one of your choice. Just take it here, and that will be all. So I'm doing that now. We have this. So this is the end of our tutorial. So thank you for watching till the end. To meet in my next class. And please, if you're yet to subscribe, kindly do so by hitting on that red icon, and it's absolutely free. Thank you. I love you all. Bye.